Our top story this morning, Antioch police have searched the home and property of Nancy and Philip Garrido, the couple charged with kidnapping J.C. Dugard 18 years ago. The police are now extending their search into the home of a neighbor who residents identify the house belonging to Damon Robinson. He's lived there for more than 3 years. It was back in 2006 that Robinson's girlfriend called police after she saw tents and the children in the backyard. The responding officer, however, failed to discover the encampment. Robinson earlier told the Associated Press that Philip Garrido was a caretaker of the house until Robinson moved in. Garrido also kept an online blog called Voices Revealed, and on it he preaches about mind control and other random thoughts. It's one reason this story has attracted attention across the country and around the world. KRON 4's Dave Gangona now takes a look at the huge media presence in Antioch.
Here on Walnut Avenue in Antioch, there are at least a dozen satellite and microwave TV trucks lining the street where Philip Garrido's house is. In addition to that, there are many more crews from all over the world covering this story. The media has been camped out here day and night as Antioch police continue to sift through Garrido's backyard for evidence. This man works a satellite TV truck for several media outlets.
I was working for a different network yesterday than I am today, and I've only actually gotten 1 hour of sleep.
There were so many media vehicles on the street on Saturday that it took this man who lives directly across from Garrido about 20 minutes just to access his own driveway to park his boat. As the investigation wears on, it's also taking its toll on the patience of the neighbors as well.
Now it's to the point where they can't even get in, even my kids can't even get in to come and see us. From the police department down there stopping everybody, but all this media and everything, it's just like out of this world. It's crazy.
This reporter is from Global TV Brazil. He told me why this story has captured the attention of everyone.
The human side of it, right? Doesn't matter what it is, because even if it was Australia, Brazil, Africa, whatever, 18 years in a home prison like this, it's terrible for everyone, and everyone in Brazil is interested in learning what happened in this home here.
In Antioch, Dave Gangona, KRON 4 News.
And you can learn more about the investigation on our website, KRON4.com. It includes a story about Garrido's claim that he had a, quote, magic box, which allowed him to control sounds with his mind. Now for the latest on the wildfire burning near Los Angeles, in the mountains above Los Angeles. That fire has surged now in every direction. In a single day, it's gone from being a modest threat to a danger to some 10,000 homes. The blaze nearly tripled in size in triple-digit heat on Saturday, and that led to the evacuation of 1,000 homes in the area. All told, 3 people have suffered burns and 3 homes have been destroyed. More than 31 square miles of dry forest have been scorched by the fire. At this point, it's just 5% contained. In national news, the Cash for Clunkers program is being called a big success for consumers. Well, now a toy store chain is offering its own program to try and increase spending. Cash for Cribs is what Toys R Us is calling it. It's giving its customers a chance to trade in used cribs, car seats, and other children's items in exchange for a store discount. This program runs until September 20th, and customers will get a 20% discount on selected items, and there's no limit on the number of products that customers can turn in. Well, making new beginnings after Hurricane Katrina, progress rebuilding New Orleans' historic 9th Ward has been slow, especially for one man who watched helplessly as floodwaters swept his mother away. Sean Caleb now tells us how 4 years after the storm, teams of volunteers and a Hollywood superstar are stepping up to try and make things right for many who lost everything.
It's been 4 years since Robert Green and his mother were stranded on their roof here in the lower 9th Ward of New Orleans. This is the lower 9th in the aftermath. Green's mother was swept off the roof by the floodwaters. He managed to survive and return. I first spoke with Green a few months after the storm, after he found his mother's body, after he came to grips with the fact Katrina took his granddaughter as well.
I don't see my baby no more. I don't see my mother no more. I don't see my neighbors no more. All I can do is just be happy that she's going to be buried.
Green spent most of the last 4 years living in this small FEMA trailer, sharing his story with anyone who came through the lower 9th. His story has finally taken a positive turn. Green recently abandoned the trailer for a new home built by Brad Pitt's charitable organization, Make It Right.
we have 14 families and we feel crowded, but we had 3,000 houses that are gone, and we would love to see those houses come back.
Pitt's group has built 15 homes so far and sells them for only about $75,000 to residents in the lower ninth. Volunteer work makes that deal possible. They're very green, energy efficient, recycled materials, but above all,
so safety is a primary concern for us. So we want to make sure that if there is another flood, the houses that we're building are going to be safe from that flood. So they're all elevated, at least above Katrina level flooding.
Volunteers here are leading the way, like Matt Peterson's group, Global Green.
There's still so much work to be done. We can't wait, and we can't rely on the federal government. This is, I think, an era where we realize that we as citizens of this great country need to take responsibility for our nation, and starting right here.
HUD Secretary Sean Donovan knows mistakes were made in the efforts to get people back into their homes. Be it another hurricane, a flood, fire, or earthquake, people will need help rebuilding again.
We have to be more flexible. We have to be more responsive and make sure that the programs don't just work in theory, but they work in reality for families.
Making it easier for those who lost so much to start over.
As Sean Caleb's reporting. Now on to news around the Bay Area. It has been a weekend of fun and music at Golden Gate Park. It's all part of the 2009 Outside Lands Festival. Weekend-long concert began on Friday, and among the performers have been the Dave Matthews Band and the Black Eyed Peas. Today, Tenacious D and Modest Mouse will hit the stage. And speaking of the Black Eyed Peas, members of the band are also making a difference in the lives of some young people in the Bay Area. KRON 4's Vicki Liviakis has that story.
Performing for the performer, rappers and dancers welcoming musician will.i.am to Oakland's new Peapod Academy. Sponsored by Adobe, the City of Oakland, and the group The Black Eyed Peas. Think of it as a dream incubator.
Coming here and seeing the poems and seeing the dances and hearing the music, it just gets my mind going on the potential that could happen here, that could happen in Harlem.
1, 2, 3. Peapod Academy!
You made some friends here today?
Yeah, man, a lot of cats. They're really cool and talented, and there's a commonality between me and these folks. Our upbringings are similar. Come from nothing, all striving to get something. And I'm not saying to ignore obstacles. I'm saying don't ignore the dream.
In Oakland, Vicki Liviakis, KRON 4 News.
All right, 9:39 this Sunday morning. Time to move on over to Henry one more time.
And I'm sitting here with, well, he's not going to be the last farmer, but his book is called Wisdom of the Last Farmer. Mas Masumoto, he's a poet, a great writer, and man, does he grow great crops and takes good care of the land, too. We'll catch up with him coming up on KRON 4 News Weekend.